Hello, hello, peace back to you guys. You know what I'm saying? With more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I would really want to show you concerning the economics, okay, since these realms are based in capital, you know what I'm saying? And you have to watch out after doing some shadow work on this. And I want to share with you what the big problem is, and is always what we be telling you, that the whole thing is artificial and can change without notice, you know what I'm saying? And that all the riches, all the business that you do in this simulation, you know what I'm saying, all can come to nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because a handful of youths in the capitalist system matrix, they control the whole thing, you know. So all the money, where all the money goes, these are the people that control the whole entire road, because it's a capitalist society that they created, since they created this realm, you know what I'm saying? And because this capitalist society is very easy and vulnerable to change. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is guaranteed in there. They gave you they, of course, they in during the growth they give you the you know, the perception that there is security in their economy, that, you know, you can save money to when you get old, and you have pension schemes, you know what I'm saying? But all types of schemes out there, but as the name says, schemes, you know what I'm saying? In the end, it's gonna, you know, backfire on you, because the whole thing is not regulated in the what they call democratic system. There is no regulation. There is no nothing. The whole thing runs in corruption. If it's corruption that rules it, that's corruption that rules it, and the money goes all the way to one place, and the people with that money decides what happens to the road and to the 90% of people that, you know, they have no control in this money. They don't create it. They don't. They don't. They just have to work for it. You know what I'm saying? And the people that owns all this money write the rules and write the laws. So right now they decided that they want to destroy this society. They want to destroy this system, because we woke up. You know what I'm saying? We saw, hold on, these dudes are lying to us with all these religions. You know what I'm saying? And their ability to fool us and to drain us of our energy and parasitic stuff is gone. So they got to change the system, and so they have to crash the economy. It's the first thing they got to do. They got to crash the economy to destroy the people, because once they crash the economy, you're going to have civil wars, because, you know, the people are ill informed, and they will turn in each other, and they will hurt each other, kill each other for the rich. That's what they want. You know what I'm saying? So when they destroy this economy by design, as you can see, and the people are going to be vulnerable to all sorts of attacks, and open to whatever these people. And when they done, you know, destroying the poor, yeah, millions of them, you know what I'm saying? They talk about reset. They talk about, you know, do away with a lot of people. Yeah, people that can't afford healthcare, people that some people that are going to, you know, lose everything overnight. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be mad. They're gonna go out there, and they're gonna attack the foreigners. They're gonna blame the foreigners because they don't know better. Okay? Because these old people, as you know, they live in a controlled system. Their elites control what they think, what they believe, what they know. You know what I'm saying? And they don't. Most of them don't have the ability to think outside of that paradigm, unless these guys I'm showing you that no economy. They're telling them that their own people that, you know, this is gone. You know, this is it now. You know what I'm saying? Either they're going to, this economy is going to be equal, because the problem with the whole collapsing is that they took the money and gave all the money to the rich, and even made laws for not taxing the rich, like so-called Trump. The first thing they did was that. So he devalued the dollar already. America is going down, and I think they want it to go down. It's all by design, people. Don't think it's by accident. Don't think because, I got such a stupid president. It's all done by design. They got this dude there for a reason to do these things to you, just like they're doing everywhere. They're doing in Europe. They're doing away with this West road somehow, all by design, because these are the rich dude told us that, he wants everybody to have nothing and be happy. So this is what they are doing intentionally. It's not by accident. It's not. This is why I told you this system needs to go. But if it goes like that, it doesn't mean nothing. It is being resetted by these same dudes. Because when they're resetting like that, they're making you poor, so then they're going to dictate on you how you're going to live and how they're going to exploit you. Because you have no wealth, you have no money, you have no resources. They own all the resources. Not the immigrants, not the other people. These rich people earn all the resources and keep it to themselves. And this is causing the whole collapse. Their own economist is telling them. That's why I'm sharing videos with you guys to have all the, because there's no time to be sleeping. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes are telling them that this is it. Either you're going to give equality, you're going to tax the rich, just like you tax the poor, and equalize the economy, balance, and the rich gotta come up with more than that. Or it's all going to collapse, it's all going to be brushed out, and you're going to be living under the bridge, and these rich people will decide what road you're going to live next. That's what's going on, okay? But they're going to use you and your ignorance to kill yourself, to create a civil war first, They're going to make you really weak before they come back to reset you with a new system. That's what's going on now. Let's go.
Let me comment on that and take it a couple of steps further. It wasn't very long ago, I'm talking a matter of months, when there was nearly parity between the euro and the dollar. I checked this morning, and the euro is now costing $1.18. Okay, that's a devaluation relative to the euro of 18%. Mr. Trump's tariffs, by the way, a devaluation of the dollar by 18% means that you have a situation where the dollar, you have to give more and more dollars to get the European currency. It's a statement to everyone in the world who has dollar assets, who holds anything denominated in a dollar, like a U.S. Treasury note, of which there are 700 billion in the hands of China, of which there are $1 trillion in the hands of Japan, and so on, are now worth 18% less. That is a screaming message, because as Michael correctly says, that's a devaluation.
Are you looking for additional income in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Well, commercial property is the way forward.
Screaming message, because as Michael correctly says, that's a devaluation at a speed that is frightening. Mm-hmm. That is a screaming recommendation to people to get rid of the dollar before they suffer worse losses. They've been doing that for the last year, and they're going to continue to do it since there is no end in sight. And if Mr. Powell or his successor is going to lower interest rates because Mr. Trump is beating the drum to do it, it will make all of that likely worse. Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing, let's do a little history. The only meaningful economic act achieved by Mr. Trump in his first presidency was the tax cut of December 2017. Let's remember, that was an enormous tax cut for corporations and the rich. It happened at the end of a 40-year period, mid-70s to 2015, 40 years, during which we have had a massive redistribution of wealth from the bottom and the middle to the people at the top. Never, therefore, in the year 2017, never did an American corporate sector or rich sector need a tax cut less than they did at the end of a 40-year redistribution. Mr. Trump gave it to them anyway. And that signaled an out-of-control ruling class that is simply grabbing as much as they can before it all disappears. A behavior very common in empires that are declining. The people at the top are in a position, because they're at the top, to hold on to wealth. Everybody else pays the price of the declining empire. So weak were the Democrats in 2017 that the only thing they could do was not to stop the tax cut, not to stop all the damage it did, but to put a proviso that it would end on the 31st of December of this year, 2025, 8 years into the future then. What did they bring Mr. Trump back into office for? To do the next logical step, to get rid of the little limit that the Democrats in their weakness imposed. And that's what this new bill does. It permanently fixes the cuts of 2017. It negates the sunset they were supposed to suffer at the end of this year, and they add a few more.
Right.
Therefore, the gross inequality of the last 40 years, which was worsened by the tax cut of 2017, will be further worsened by what we're going through now.
Okay.
And in my opinion,
guys, you heard what he said, you know what I'm saying? And you heard what these dudes are doing, these presidents like Trump, okay? Far-right presidents that come and they all about saving the rich. It's not about what they tell you, okay? That, you know, be about race, superior race, get out of it. You know, it's not about that. It's about protecting these elites and creating inequality by design and bringing us all into collapse, into poverty, so they can exploit everybody and create that AI role of submission. You understand what's going on? I'm gonna just go back in this playlist into another economist in the UK, and he's gonna tell you the same damn thing.
Okay, welcome back to Gary's Economics. Thank you for waiting. Today we're going to get you up to speed with everything you missed and talk about how we are going to fix this economic collapse in the rest of 2025. Welcome back. Okay, so first thing to cover is, I think, to pat ourselves on the back a little bit. I've been away 3 months and I was a little bit worried about taking time off when things are blowing up. But I needn't have been, because things have gone absolutely mental with wealth taxes and with inequality since I've been away. Normally when I'm working, I sit here at my kitchen table and I've got a TV there and I run BBC News or Sky News and I have it on mute. And every single time they talk about the economy, there's a little thing at the bottom saying wealth taxes. Are we going to get wealth taxes? Every single time a politician is asked to talk about the economy, the political situation, they are asked, are you going to do wealth taxes? Why are you not doing wealth taxes? Why are you not taxing the rich more? While I was away, we had The Guardian come up with the editorial piece saying we need to have wealth taxes. Just this weekend, we had Lord Kinnock, former leader of the Labour Party, asking why we're not doing wealth taxes. And yesterday we had I'm shooting this on Wednesday. Yesterday we had a YouGov poll coming out saying that 75% of the country, including 62% of Conservative voters, support wealth taxes. Yeah, I don't want to get too egotistical about it, but this is because of us. This is because of us, this is because of me, this is because of you amplifying our message. It's not just us. You have to give like a big shout out to other people push this, Tax Justice UK, especially the Patriotic Millionaires and Rebecca Galland at PM UK does great work, and Advani, people like that. But this is us. We've driven this into the narrative. We are a massive, massive part of the conversation now. Politicians have to talk about it all the time. So just a little moment to say well done. This channel, the political idea of this channel was always that we amplify through ordinary people. We talk to ordinary people in a way that is understandable for ordinary people, and you guys amplify the message. You know, we've never done any advertising, and it's you that grows us. So first things first, like well done. Like, we've changed the game on this. You know, we are the new Rupert Murdoch. We are dominating the debate. And we've done it through videos of me sitting here in my kitchen. But it's more because of you guys watching. So thank you very much. Let's keep doing it. We're back now, hopefully for the rest of the year. So let's keep pushing this through. All right, so let's catch up a little bit with the broad economic political situation. The reason that wealth taxes have become relevant is because the economy is shit. And the economy is shit in exactly the way which I said it would be shit before the new government came in. And to be honest, this is relevant even if you're in the US or in other countries. I would like to add, the last 3 months I've been like traveling the world, and I've been doing events talking about politics and about economics, and the same things are happening everywhere. So this is what I'm about to say. It's not just relevant for the UK or the US. Basically everywhere you have the same situation, which is there's kind of like two flavors of government that you have at the moment, which is either this kind of like boring, centrist, let's just be more efficient, let's just be more practical and sensible, and somehow that will fix things. And you have this like kind of increasingly mentalist far right, which is just like going crazy, doing crazy shit, but aggressively blaming immigrants and foreigners. And you know, these two kind of flavors of modern government are like really typified by, at the moment, the Keir Starmer Labour government here in the UK and the Donald Trump Republican government over in the US. And I came out before those guys came in, and I said, well, it might have been just after, basically said, what you have here is like is something really interesting, because you've got these two kind of opposite flavors of government, which is your like very sort of sensible, practical, traditional centrist Keir Starmer government, and this kind of like wild, far right, alt right, whatever you want to call it, Donald Trump government, that are kind of set up as opposites, but they will both fail on the economy because both of them are failing to recognize the key fundamental economic problem that you have, which is that wealth inequality is growing very, 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 very quickly. The rich and the super rich are growing their wealth very aggressively. That is squeezing out and bankrupting governments, and that is squeezing out and bankrupting the middle class. And because wealth taxes and tax on the super rich are not really on the table, you end up with this situation where you have governments who have collapsed their wealth, given away all of their wealth, are hugely in debt, turn into a middle class who is also quite aggressively losing its wealth and saying, well, you need to pay more. And absolutely refusing to look at this group of people who are just absolutely squeezing everybody else out. Mm-hmm. And it's going to fail, basically. You know, this is like if you have, you know, you've got a patient on the operating table and they're hemorrhaging blood. The government is hemorrhaging wealth. The middle class is hemorrhaging wealth. And you try to fix it without stopping that hemorrhaging of wealth. You know, the boat has a hole in the bottom, and you're not going to fix it by rowing faster, and you're not going to fix it by blaming immigrants. Until we stop the middle class, the working class, and the government from having all of their wealth squeezed out of them by the very rich, we will continue to see economic worsening. And this is why I was able to predict that Rishi Sunak would fail economically, that Keir Starmer would fail economically, that Donald Trump would fail economically, despite these three guys, Sunak and Starmer and Trump, being very different politicians. And it's really just for a very simple reason, which is the core of the economic crisis is growing wealth inequality. And none of these politicians, none of these political ideologies are willing to even really talk about inequality. And in fact, in many cases, especially in the case of Donald Trump and the more far-right parties, they're actively cutting taxes on billionaires. So, you know, what you have here is an economy with cancer and a bunch of politicians who don't believe in cancer. So it doesn't matter if it's Starmer on the tin or Trump on the tin, they're going to fail. They're going to fail unless they deal with economic inequality.
Okay.
Which is a big problem because they're not addressing it, but it creates this massive, massive political opportunity, which is that what you will see, what we are seeing, what we will continue to see, is continued economic failures of different governments because they refuse to deal with the actual problem. In many cases, I think they don't recognize the importance of inequality as the actual problem.
Okay, we're gonna stop now. And I just wanted you to see this economic point of view because it's a truthful point of view, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to understand that, you know, these economies are all a script, you know what I'm saying? Don't think that, you know, he's even saying, oh, they got this government there, over there is Labour, they got this Republican government there in America, they got this other government, but they all people doing the same thing. How do you explain that? They all creating this vacuum in the economy by giving tax breaks to the rich. It's all by design, people. They're doing it everywhere, and everywhere is starving. And he already told you that your problem is immigration. Well, over immigration is a problem. Because yes, you're gonna feel bad about it. But this is not your real problem. Your real problem is the distribution of wealth. And all of these kingdoms, all of these empires, they ain't about to share their wealth with the poor. Now the rich, you're gonna see, the rich is packing out, taking their money and leaving. And leaving the poor to collapse. Taking all the industries out, you know what I'm saying, drying them off. Then overtaxing them, taking all their savings, drying them off, leaving them in the shit. This is what these economies do. This is why they don't work. Because as you see, they are not as so-called democratic as you think. It's not democratic. You've been fooled the whole time, people. That's sad, man. I don't want to keep this video going. I'm just going to stop. I wanted you to have a clear vision of what's going on. That is nothing what they're telling you in these medias. Yeah, they are destroying the distribution of wealth to bring you what these dudes have been telling you for ages, that you will have nothing and be happy. They want to reset you. They told you years ago they're going to do that on you to you. So it's no economic shit that is happening by accident. They're doing it in purpose. They're doing it by design. This is a lab. Wake up. Love you all. Peace.
And if you want to understand specifically why it is that governments and politicians and economists don't realize why why inequality is the problem, we do have a video on the channel called Understanding Why Economists Ignore Inequality. We'll put that in the description at the bottom. But basically, these guys will fail again and again. And it puts us in a great position because we can correctly predict that. So I came in before Starmer came in, saying that he would win and he would fail really badly on the economy and he would be very unpopular. I said the same thing about Sunak, I said the same thing about Trump. And it also creates this massive demand for something new, right? Because people don't want to live in poverty, people don't want their kids to live in poverty, but it's increasingly clear to ordinary people that is what's happening, that they're being impoverished. And it creates this massive demand for new economic ideas, which I think we here on this YouTube channel are feeling really. And I think that's one of the reasons why this channel has become so big and so popular.